Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, based on where you guys are located. Welcome to the MassMailer Webinar. Let me introduce myself. I'm Siva Devaki, founder of MassMailer. Today, we are going to learn about Salesforce email limitations and how you can bypass these limitations using MassMailer. Before we get started, few housekeeping items. Feel free to use the Q&A box if you have any questions, and I will open up the Q&A session after the demo is over. Let's get started now. We all know that Salesforce CRM is the #1 CRM in the industry with millions of users across the globe. But Salesforce is not meant to be an email marketing solution. So they have put a lot of limits on how many emails you can send per day. You may be knowing that Salesforce has 5,000 email limits per day, which means if you want to send more than 5,000 emails, you need to wait for another day to send one more set of 5,000 emails. This is a huge barrier if you're planning to send marketing emails to your customers or prospects, and if you have more than 5,000 list of contacts. Please note that these limits are for the entire organization and not just per user, which means if you have 100 salespeople who want to send emails to their prospects, all they get is 5,000 shared emails per day. Isn't that less for you? Now let's look at the other limitations that Salesforce has got. When you send emails from Salesforce, you must have noticed that emails that are sent through salesforce.com domain, meaning emails appear as if they're coming from the salesforce.com email server, which is another limitation, right? Same thing goes when you send an email and that email template has got some link. Even that link also shows as if it's coming from salesforce.com server. What does it mean? It means that you cannot really white label the email domain or the links when you're sending emails from Salesforce. Right. And the last limitation is that you also won't be able to get your own dedicated IP address to send emails. Most of you may wonder, why do I really need a dedicated IP address? Well, it's important for any organization to build their own email reputation over a period of time so that the email recipient servers across the globe know that your domain and the IP address is genuine and does not send any kind of spammy emails. If you don't have a dedicated IP address, then you will end up using a shared IP address, and which is what happens when you actually send emails through Salesforce. What does it mean? You're actually sharing the email reputation with all other people who are sending emails through salesforce.com, which is very, very risky. I hope at a high level, this kind of gives you a good background on the email limits Salesforce imposes today. Now, let us discuss why is it really important to send mass emails to your prospects. You may say that I don't do any email marketing and I just build my pipeline by other channels like meeting people and greeting people, which is great. No doubt about it. You should definitely meet your prospects and customers. But let us review some of the facts and the figures that constantly reminds us email marketing is still the king when it comes to generating more revenue for any business. We all know that when we are accessing emails, We don't get distracted by any other sites like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It is mainly your email inbox and you alone working together with no distraction at all, right? That means when you send marketing emails, you're getting the direct access to your audience and also get the complete attention for yourself. Well, it's of course very important to make sure that the audience is opening up your emails, which means you have to follow certain email best practices, which is actually a very big topic that we plan to cover in another webinar. As a marketer, when you get the direct access to the audience, it is the best engagement channel through which you can increase the sales and the revenue. As per the industry-wide statistics, email marketing still drives a large amount of sales in any organization. Now, let us review some of the statistics backing email marketing as the best marketing channel with the highest return of investment. Salesforce releases State of Marketing report every year on various marketing channels and how effective they are in any organization's growth and success. In 2015, 20% of the marketers said that email is directly linked to their business primary revenue source. In 2016, it has increased to 49%, which is nearly half of the marketers who said the same thing. Now let's look at another set of statistics here. Sarah Peterson published an article on Huffington Post in which she says that email marketing has a return of 44.25 times, which means for every $100 you spend into email marketing for your business, you can expect an average return of $4,425 back. She also wrote that 2 years ago, email marketing brought in 25.1% of all Black Friday sales online, which was more than any other single marketing channel like social media marketing or paid marketing. I hope by now you're convinced that email marketing is very crucial to your business. And if you don't do any email marketing, it'll surely hurt your business and the growth. Now that we understand the importance of email marketing and the Salesforce email limits, let's learn a little bit more about MassMailer, how it works, and how does it help eliminating the Salesforce email limits. What is MassMailer? MassMailer is an easy-to-use Salesforce native application to send marketing or prospecting emails with no limits via the Mass Email Wizard or the campaign object in Salesforce. Now let's look at some of the features in MassMailer. You can leverage Salesforce campaigns to send mass emails or use a simple email wizard that walks you through the series of steps you can follow to send mass emails. There are no limits on how many emails you can send per day, meaning you can send unlimited emails, technically speaking, but commercially, you will have to purchase the right email plan with the right email volume. Using MassMailer, you can track the email events like opens, clicks, bounces, spam, unsubscribe, etc. Based on these statistics, you can optimize your future campaigns to get better results. You can also send one-off email marketing, emails, meaning you can send a direct email to a contact or a lead or even a personal account and track the response. Another feature is that you can verify emails to make sure that the emails are valid and not bouncing before actually sending the email campaign. This is going to greatly improve the email campaign performance. We're going to talk about this particular feature in detail, why email verification is very, very important for any organization. So you make sure that your campaign is performing the best and never get into the bounce rate, which is very, very high. And another feature that you get from MassMailer is you can actually add the file attachment links in the email template. When is it important? Why do you need it? Most of the times, or sometimes rather, you may want to send large files through emails, and most of the email servers would reject if you have large files that are associated with the email as an attachment. So you can send it through the email link. That's one of the features that we offer as of today. Another important feature is to acquire business leads to target the right leads. We have close to 20 million contacts available that are valid and verified. You can also clean your accounts and contacts, meaning you can actually enrich any information that is missing. For example, address, phone number, title, social profile information, so on and so forth. MassMailer is not only used by sales and marketers, but also being used by recruiters, student advisors, financial advisors, trainers, and many other roles in their respective industry and the organization. MassMailer currently has hundreds of small, mid-size, and large enterprise level customers. Some of the known customers are Allen Tate, Bay Club, Four Seasons, Princeton Review, and Uranium Energy Group. Now that we have learned a brief overview of MassMailer, let's look at a live demo of MassMailer in action. I'm sure you all must be waiting for this. Let's get into the demo right now. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Salesforce CRM, and you're also familiar with App Exchange. As I mentioned earlier, MassMailer is an App Exchange app. Once you install MassMailer app in your Salesforce instance, you would be seeing certain tabs the way you're seeing it here, something like MassMailer Setup, MassMailer Schedule One-Off Email, MassMailer Email Wizard, MassMailer Email Statistics, so on and so forth. Today, we're actually going to look at two other features, which is Salesforce campaigns, through which you can actually send mass emails. And also, we're going to look at the MassMailer Email Wizard, which is another way to send mass emails through MassMailer. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Salesforce campaign. I would just go ahead and go create a quick campaign here. I'm going to call it as August webinar email campaign. I'm going to make it as active. I'm going to select the type as email, and I would quickly go ahead and save it. Once you have saved this email campaign, this is the base level template of the campaign. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with the campaign member status values. By default, Salesforce gives you only 2 member status values, that is sent and responded. By using MassMailer, as I mentioned to you earlier, you can actually track more campaign member status values. In order to get that, you would click on the Set Member Status button. Once that is done, let us go and take a look at the advanced setup right now. And as you can see that we have actually added a few more member status values. And I'm actually going to click unsubscribe, open as the responder type, and then I'm going to save it. Let's go back to the campaign right now. And the next step is, again, a standard feature of Salesforce. You don't really have to learn anything new here. Let's go ahead and try to add members. And I'm going to go pick the leads. Is one lead that I want to send mass email to. Here you have to make sure that when you're adding the campaign members, the state has got to be new, which means those campaign members did not receive any email so far. So once you've added your campaign members, the next step is to click on this button called Schedule via MassMailer. Again, this is very intuitive. All we're going to do is just give a name. And then you have certain features like whether it is a recurring campaign or not. In this scenario, I'm not going to make it as a recurring campaign. It's a one-off campaign. You can see that there is something called BCC option. What it means is that if you want to BCC the sender, or if you want to BCC a very specific email address in your organization, like info@massmailer.io or marketing@massmailer.io, you could make that as a global BCC that's actually set in the MassMailer setup screen, and you can opt for that. In this scenario, I'm not going to select the BCC option. Let's look at what is sender options. Here we provide you 3 ways of picking the sender options. One is a logged in user. You can see that it's automatically populated. I can actually go ahead and edit these values, which I'm going to do it in a moment. We also provide you a global sender, meaning if you decide to keep a global sender for your company, you can actually fix that in the setup page. And there's another very good feature that we have through which you can actually send the email as the record owner, meaning if you have contacts and leads that are owned by different salespeople, you can actually select this record owner as the sender. In this particular scenario, I'm just going to go make this as logged in user. I'm just going to pick a different email address though as the sender. And the next step is the template selection. Just to talk about the templates, MassMailer by default supports the Salesforce native email templates, meaning you don't have to have the templates outside design. I mean, you can design it outside. Rather, you may want to design it outside, but you can load it up back into Salesforce. So here I'm actually going to go pick up a specific folder for the sake of the demo. And also I'm going to go pick up a template that is predefined, which is purely HTML based. You can see that this is a nice little HTML designed template. And we do have an option of modifying the template if you need it. Right now, I'm not going to go modify it. Once you have picked up the template, all you need to do is just save it. Once you've saved it, now the next step is to go back to the campaign control, where in which you can actually schedule it or send it now. You can see that there are a few more buttons here. Edit template, meaning you can actually edit the template that you just defined. Preview template will give you a preview. Send test button will actually let you send a test email. And schedule later, as I mentioned, you can schedule it later. I would want to quickly show it to you what it is and how it looks. As you can see, this is very simple. All you need to do is pick the schedule and pick a date, and then you just need to pick some time. Once you've done that, you would save it. But again, in this scenario, I'm actually going to go ahead and cancel it. Let's go back to the control page, which is schedule via MassMailer page. Let's just go and send it right now. So once you click on that button, it says that the email campaign members have received, or the email has been sent to the campaign members successfully, right? Seems like I did not log into my email. Let me quickly do that. Okay. Here you can see that the email that I just sent it 0 minutes ago, I just received it. And it looks very neat the way you saw that. And also we append this unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email. All right. Now let's go back to Salesforce here. Let's quickly check the campaign that we just created. So this is the one that we just created. And then we got the campaign members. This is a campaign member. And this is a specific lead that we actually used. Here you can see that we actually track all the email status values. It does take a little bit of time to actually store this email status values. But you can see that we stored the actual event, which is delivered, open, click, unsubscribe, so on and so forth, as I mentioned to you the other time. Similarly, you could actually send the email through this MassMailer email wizard as well. The fundamental difference is that campaign is a Salesforce standard feature. And many of the marketers may like to use campaign. But the MassMailer email wizard is like a series of steps that you need to follow if you want to just do a point and shoot email campaign. And I've seen most of the salespeople like to use this one because they can just go pick up what is the list of contacts that they want to send email to, and then pick a template and schedule it or send it now. So I just picked up the lead as the object. in step 1. You can also send it to contacts, by the way. And here in this screen, you can actually go ahead and create your own view, which is something similar like the list view creation in Salesforce. I'm sure you're familiar with this feature. So I can actually just go ahead and try to create a list view. We have a cool feature through which you can actually preview the results before you actually go create it. So now that I've defined my list view, I'm going to go ahead and save it. You can see that I got one lead from this list view. That's what I'm actually going to use it. And we have an option to go back, go to the next step. Or you can actually verify the emails. I just want to quickly touch upon this. I'm not going to demo this today because we're going to keep it for one more webinar that we plan to do it. So before sending an email to the list of contacts or leads, if you want to validate the emails, you can actually click on this button to make sure the emails are valid. I won't be doing it right now, as I mentioned. I would take you to the next step. Again, it's very simple. All we are doing is selecting an email template. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and pick the folder. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the template. And you can see that we got this HTML template that's displayed here. You may notice that we have merge field option here, meaning if you have any merge fields in the email template, we do pull up that information. Currently, I think we do support the lead, contact, and the account. So here again, we have an option to modify the template if you wanted to before sending it, or you can just keep the original template the way it is. Now that we are done with step 3, I would just go to the next step, step 4, where we are actually going to go ahead and submit this email template or send this campaign. Again, here, I don't need to explain it once again. We do have an option to BCC the sender or BCC the global sender. You also have the options, the sender options, that is logged in user, the global sender, lead owner. We also provide organization-wide address because many people do have this organization-wide address, and we have provided that as a feature. So in this scenario, again, I'm actually going to go ahead and then change the sender email and the reply to. And here again, you have an option to send it now or schedule it on a specific date and time. You can also send a test email if you wanted to before triggering the actual campaign. Again, I'm actually going to go ahead and use the send now and then click on the submit button. It is actually going to go ahead and submit this job for the processing, which means it's actually going to go ahead and send the emails. Or click on this finished. That's it. So it's just a very simple 5-step process through which you can actually send the mass emails. And where do we store the email statistics? I quickly want to show it to you. So here is the one that I think we just sent it. I would just open it that way, kind of get an idea, even though we may not have the statistics at the moment. So here we actually provide all the statistics on how many opens and how many dropped, how many bounces, and how many spams, spam reports, unsubscribes, clicks, so on and so forth. So it does take some time to refresh this email statistics. We have a asynchronous job that is running every half an hour. So it does take some time to really get these statistics. But I hope that you kind of get a sense of how the entire flow of the email wizard would work. And we also store the template information. This is just for your information. You're not supposed to change it or anything like that. This is more of, keep it handy when you want to know what kind of an email that you sent earlier through this particular campaign, right? So it's very simple to set up MassMailer. I'm going to quickly take you to the screen. Now that we're going to set up anything, we would provide you the login access for SendGrid. That's the email server that we use behind the scenes. And the little steps that we need to go through, like series of 5 or 6 steps that we need to go through here. And we always provide a free support for the setup configuration, even during the trial period, or anytime in the future when you wanted to upgrade to the latest version. So that's pretty much it. That's the demo right there. Let's go back to our presentation. Now let's see if you got any questions that you may want me to answer. Let's go ahead and look at the pricing. It has 2 parts to it. One is based on how many users will be using the MassMailer app. Based on that number, we have 3 tiers, as you can see from the slide. For 1 to 5 users, the cost is going to be $39.99 per user per month. For 5+ users, the cost is going to be $29.99 per user per month. For 50+ users, the cost is $19.99 per user per month. If you sign up for the annual billing, you will get a 10% discount. If you're a nonprofit organization, you will get additional 10% discount. And this is the second part of MassMailer pricing, in which you will select the monthly email volume based on your needs. And also you would want to decide whether you want to go with a shared IP address or a dedicated IP address. We got 2 plans. First one is called Essential Plan, which comes with a shared IP address. And the Pro plan that comes with a dedicated IP address. And I believe we have already discussed the differences between the shared IP address and the dedicated IP address. But we at MassMailer would highly recommend using the dedicated IP address for high volume users. End of the day, whichever plan you may choose, you would still get the domain white labeling and the email link white labeling feature. If you are a very high volume email sender, like sending more than 1 million emails per month, then you can actually go with the premier plan. We can discuss the pricing offline if you're interested. Now that we actually looked at the demo and the pricing, let us see, how does MassMailer compare with other solutions? There are other solutions out there. I'm sure you must be knowing all of that. First of all, MassMailer is a 100% native Salesforce app, and most of the other email solutions are not native solutions. We provide 2 ways of sending mass emails, as you saw, one with the Salesforce campaign feature and the other with a MassMailer email wizard. We provide a flexible sender options. We track all the email events like open, click, bounce, so on and so forth. And also store the bounce reason. Why did any email bounce? We do store the email activity history in Salesforce. I believe I forgot to demo that part, but we actually do store the activity history. You can actually leverage your existing email templates stored in Salesforce. That's a key thing. We do provide the email domain white labeling and also the email link white labeling and the dedicated IP address feature. Most of the email solution providers may or may not have that feature. We also have the Salesforce developer APIs. If you want to actually customize and invoke our APIs through the Apex code. As I mentioned to you, we also have an additional feature to verify the emails before sending. And we also have a feature through which you can actually send the file attachment links. So these are some of the features that highly differentiate MassMailer from other solutions. I hope you liked the webinar today, and thanks so much for attending the webinar. And here is my contact information. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email at siva.devaki@massmailer.io or call me at 415-729-1152 or 650-248-7958. We provide a 15-day free trial and a free setup support for lifetime. We are currently running a promotion exclusively for the webinar audience that is 50% off on the app license when you subscribe yearly, provided you actually sign up before end of this month. You can just mention that you attended the webinar, you would like to get this particular promotion offer. We also provide 10,000 emails for free in the Essentials shared IP email plan. Once again, thank you so much for attending the webinar. And if you have any questions or comments, please send me an email or call me directly. Thank you once again, and goodbye.